Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr. Speaker, we saw that member wind down as the speech went on. He started off quite enthusiastic, and we were just having a discussion here about how we were actually feeling a little bit sorry for the member. He's the member who basically sacrificed a seat for that prima facie fraudster John Banks. You know, and apparently he's been asked to sacrifice it again. He's being asked to sacrifice it again for someone who's going to play dueling banjos. You know, the song from Deliverance from the backwaters of Georgia with the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister, as a part of the National Party tune, is going to be playing dueling banjos with the inbred people from the Axe Party, or at least the people who want to sleep with their sisters, and a number of other arrangements, Mr. Speaker. Well, it's one little bit of progress, I think, for the member. If that was the sort of relationship with John Banks, politically it'd be getting pretty close to necrophilia at this point, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let's focus. How many? Sorry. Oh, many more than that. Many more than that. And proud of them. Member of the protest movement all over the place. Stood up for his principles. And I have convictions, both of principle and from the police. And the member knows that well. And sir, what I haven't done is what that member has done, and denied my own integrity. And denied my own integrity the way that member has time and time again through the last 30 years of his life. Through the last 30. If that member wants to mix it up, I'm prepared to mix it up with the person with a wonderful cousin. And what a problem it is when families have to balance out, and you get a member like that member, that young squealer over there, Finlayson, who acts like a pig and denies his own conscience all over the place. What do we say, Mr. Speaker? He's allowed to interject on me, but I'm not allowed to respond to him. Sir, he wants the protection of the chair, but because he's not prepared to take it when he dishes it up. Mr. Speaker, and he's like Bill English in this area. We hear Bill English trying to defend their approach on the Superannuation Fund. The Superannuation Fund, I want to ask members opposite, what do they hope to raise from asset sales? 4.6 billion. What have they lost through not investing in the Superannuation Fund? $10 billion. Mr. Speaker, the National Party has, through their mad policy on the Superannuation Fund, sacrificed $10 billion, which will have to be taken out in future from the taxpayers of New Zealand. What they are doing is saying the New Zealand taxpayer has to take a $10 billion hit because they had a mad policy on superannuation, which meant that they stopped investing in it. Mr. Speaker, it is just a nonsense. We've got, in the last 12 months, a 27% return from the Superannuation Fund, an average over its life of 9.55%. At the point where the government was borrowing at 3.2%, it was turning down the alternative of getting 9.55% return from the super fund and 17% from the assets which it has sold. Mr. Speaker, they claim to be a government with a knowledge of economic management. They claim to it. They claim. And remember, Maggie Barry's had a long lunch again. Maggie Barry's had a long lunch yet again. We can hear it from here. We can almost. Well, I'm lucky they don't have breath tests on the outside of this place, Mr. Speaker, because if a breath test was required, I think she'd be blown in the bag at the moment. In fact, I've got a machine up in my office and I challenge the member to use it. I've got a machine in my office and I challenge Maggie Barry to use it. Mr. Speaker. Madam, here we go again. We've got Maggie Barry again claiming to have economic credibility. A sort of a marginal gardener, a failed talk show host, and now she sees she's got the credibility, she's got economic credibility in the National Party. Well, Mr. Speaker, I think she might be right. I think the way that they're going, no. Oh, there we go. Right, that is an interesting approach. That is an interesting approach from the member. Member Maggie Barry. And Maggie Barry, I will just let you know that I've got quite a long list. And if you want to go there, I'm happy to go there as well. You want to go there, Maggie Barry? I'm prepared to go there as well. Well, let's get back to the particular bill and the arrogance of the National Party in this area of legislation. Mr. Speaker, they claim to know a lot about the superannuation fund. They opposed it. They said it was wrong. And, Mr. Speaker, what has this saved us so far? In future superannuation costs? About $14 billion. This superannuation fund has saved the taxpayers of New Zealand about $14 billion that they would otherwise pay in tax. And the National Party, I was going to say to a man, all of them, this old-fashioned, all of them, even the woman. Well, we wouldn't expect anything else from Maggie Barry. All of them opposed it, Mr. Speaker. They said it was wrong. They would rather have had tax cuts. They would have had tax cuts for their mates, people like John Key. What did he get? He got $1 million a year tax cut. $1 million a year tax cut. The member said rubbish. John Key doesn't deny it. And on $57 million worth of assets, any reasonable return. And Sam Lotuinga knows that John Key got $1 million a year tax cut. Yes, he's nodding. He knows. Sam knows that is what John Key got in tax cuts. And what they would rather have done is to do that short-term approach of giving even bigger tax cuts to their mates, of getting bigger tax cuts for the richest people in New Zealand, rather than investing in the superannuation fund, which has already saved $14 billion of taxpayer liability in the future. Mr. Speaker, they say they're economic wizards. I say, sir, they are economic failures.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker. Order. I call the honourable member Russell Norman.
Thank you, Mr.